Caitlin Clark and four WNBA stars drop out of Unrivaled League in shocking boycott of its inaugural season. The highly anticipated 3-on-3 basketball Unrivaled League is set to make its debut on January 17, 2025, with an exciting inaugural season featuring some of the best players in women's basketball. Co-founded by Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, the league has generated a lot of buzz, offering competitive salaries and the opportunity for players to stay closer to home instead of competing overseas. However, despite the excitement surrounding Unrivaled, several notable WNBA stars have opted out of the first season, including some of the league's most well-known and influential players. Here are 5 of the biggest names who won't be participating in Unrivaled's debut. The WNBA stars who dropped out of Unrivaled. Caitlin Clark is arguably the most significant absentee from the league. Recognized as one of the most dynamic young players in women's basketball, Clark was one of Unrivaled's top targets. The league extended a lucrative offer to her, but Clark ultimately declined, opting to take a break after a demanding stretch of nonstop playing, including her final year at WNBA and her rookie season in the WNBA. Another prominent player who has opted out is A'ja Wilson, the 2024 WNBA MVP and a key player for the Las Vegas Aces. Comparter and Telegram. Comparter and WhatsApp. NBA report email. WNBA. Pressure on Nike to deliver for Caitlin Clark after Paige Bueckers got a different deal. And CAA Juju Watkins and how being from Los Angeles may hurt her in her goal to surpass Caitlin Clark. The highly anticipated 3-on-3 basketball Unrivaled League is set to make its debut on January 17, 2025, with an exciting inaugural season featuring some of the best players in women's basketball. Co-founded by Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, the league has generated a lot of buzz, offering competitive salaries and the opportunity for players to stay closer to home instead of competing overseas. Caitlin Clark has a joyful response when she signs autographs for her youngest fans ever. However, despite the excitement surrounding Unrivaled, several notable WNBA stars have opted out of the first season, including some of the league's most well-known and influential players. Here are 5 of the biggest names who won't be participating in Unrivaled's debut. The WNBA stars who dropped out of Unrivaled. Caitlin Clark is arguably the most significant absentee from the league. Recognized as one of the most dynamic young players in women's basketball, Clark was one of Unrivaled's top targets. The league extended a lucrative offer to her, but Clark ultimately declined, opting to take a break after a demanding stretch of nonstop playing, including her final year at WNBA and her rookie season in the WNBA. Another prominent player who has opted out is A'ja Wilson, the 2024 WNBA MVP and a key player for the Las Vegas Aces. Wilson's stellar performance last season cemented her as one of the most dominant figures in the league. Despite Unrivaled's significant offer, she declined the invitation, likely because of her preference for traditional 5-on-5 basketball and her reluctance to commit to a full year of 3-on-3 play. Veteran forward Nneka Ogwumike, a 2-time MVP and one of the most respected players in the WNBA, also decided not to participate in Unrivaled. At 34 years old, Ogwumike has had a long and successful career, and with free agency looming, she is choosing to rest and preserve her body for the upcoming WNBA season rather than take on additional physical challenge. Donko Jones, the former WNBA MVP and a key player for the New York Liberty, will also sit out of Unrivaled's debut season. Having spent most of her offseason playing overseas, Jones is continuing her international career with Sichuan Yuanda in the Women's Chinese Basketball Association. Finally, Kelsey Plum, a guard for the Las Vegas Aces, withdrew from Unrivaled prior to the season's start. Plum, who had been announced as part of the roster, decided to prioritize her personal life and well-being after a highly publicized divorce. Lamar Jackson reveals how Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese helped him fix the one glaring weakness in his own game. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are inspiring millions of people around the world, even reigning NFL MVP Lamar Jackson. The rookie Phantoms set the WNBA alight last season, shattering all sorts of records, on and off the court, and catapulting women's basketball to dizzying new heights. However, it's not just women or fans. Clark and Reese are inspiring. Baltimore Ravens quarterback Jackson is a huge fan of the talented Hoopers and recently shared his admiration for both in an interview. The NFL superstar lauded Clark and Reese while speaking with ESNC, revealing the WNBA duo are responsible for getting him interested in women's basketball. "I wasn't really into women's basketball at first, but now, seeing players like Angel and Caitlin go crazy, it's inspiring," he said. Action Jackson also joked about his own struggles on the court, admitting watching Clark and Reese had improved his shooting form beyond recognition. He added, "I couldn't shoot then, but I can now. It's amazing. You know they don't got to be doing hair and stuff, they can play some sports." Jackson went on, praising the opportunities women now have to enter the world of sports. The 27-year-old also explained how other sports have piqued his interest too, specifically women's soccer, which blew him away during a recent trip to Germany. Clark and Reese entered the WNBA in 2024 as the No. 1 and No. 7 picks to the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky, respectively. The prodigious pair were fierce rivals in college, and that continued during their debut seasons in the W. Reese, a 6'3" forward, set the WNBA record for the most consecutive double-doubles in a season with 15, set the WNBA record for the most double-doubles by a rookie with 26, and set the WNBA record for the most single-season rebounds with 446, later broken by Aja Wilson. Sharpshooter Clark, meanwhile, set the WNBA and Indiana Fever records for most assists in a regular season, most points scored by a rookie in a regular season, and most three-point field goals made by a rookie as she was crowned Rookie of the Year. Both ultimately missed out on the ultimate prize, a WNBA championship, but that hasn't stopped Clark getting back in the lab and Reese preparing to play in a new 3x3 basketball league in January. As for Jackson, he's in the midst of another MVP-caliber season, after scooping the award for the first time in 2019 and for a second time last season. The Ravens field general surpassed Michael Vick for the most yards rushing by a quarterback in NFL history against the Houston Texans on Christmas. Jackson holds the career rushing yards record for a QB with 6,110 yards, just ahead of Vick's 6,109 yards. Through Week 17, Jackson has thrown for 3,955 yards and a career-high 39 passing touchdowns, to go with a 121.6 passer rating, 852 rushing yards, and 4 scores on the ground. Baltimore's 31-2 victory against the Texans saw them claim first place in the AFC North with an 11-5 record. Jackson completed 10 of 15 passes for 168 yards and helped his chances of winning a third MVP award, but faces stiff competition from Buffalo Bills QB Josh Allen and Philadelphia Eagles running back Saquon Barkley. The Ravens face the Cleveland Browns next Sunday in their final regular season game before they begin their playoff run.